Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Coach's Box. I'm Ray Halbrook here with Live Stream STL. Hope everybody's having a great Monday evening here. Got a great show on tap for tonight. We've got the gentleman here. We've got a new face, and Mr. Riley Blair, you're going to be the host tonight here a little bit. And so, Riley, take it away, my friend.
Well, first of all, welcome to the Coach's Box, episode 68. Episode 68 here. We're back at our home base here in Herculaneum, La Pachanga. We appreciate that, TJ's Bar and Grill in Peevely last week allowed us to come down there and host a show. It was a great show, great venue outside. It was nice and cool, and except for the couple moths that Coach Sproul had to fight off and karate chop and everything else, but right. For the most part, it was a great show last week, and like I said, we want to say a big thanks to TJ's Bar and Grill. If you haven't been out there and had their wings, top notch.
I haven't been out there.
Definitely,
are they good?
Top notch wings, top notch.
I like
some of the
wings.
best. Some of the best. So we got a fun show ahead of us tonight. We have a special guest with us tonight, all the way from Lake of the Ozarks, as you should say. But we appreciate having Coach Ron Rhodes with us tonight. Coach, welcome, and appreciate you having us on tonight.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yep.
You're an avid watcher of the show, are you not?
Yes,
I mean, you're like a top fan badge or something you need to have. We need to give him a T-shirt he can wear it around.
Right? Wear it around the lake, right?
Yeah.
Sit in my recliner and watch you.
Figure out what in the world's Miller and Jarvis going to say next, right?
Yeah.
Why? Is that unpredictable or something?
Well, I'm just saying it happens from time to time.
That's funny.
I'm always,
straight and narrow.
Straight and narrow. Yeah.
That's probably an incorrect statement, but we'll go on with we'll move on here.
Call me a liar.
No, never. But we got a fun evening. First of all, kind of we'll talk a little bit about some basketball stuff. We got a couple basketball topics that we're kind of talk about. But I first want to go along with the first kind of topic we want to kind of go through here is, do you believe that sports has become too focused on winning?
What level?
I would say all levels, to be honest. I think that and I think that's what we kind of mention. I mean, starting from the lower levels of little kids all the way up through professional. Has it become all about winning? Whoops, there we go. Sorry about that.
Well, here's my opinion on it. I don't think it's enough at the professional level because you get money involved. As soon as you get money involved, I was thinking about this on the way in. Is it really sport? I don't think it's sport anymore. When you start to ask, when you start to give a contract and money's exchanged for services, you're talking about now it's entertainment. Mm-hmm. Okay, and to me that's a whole different Pandora's box, different conversation. But I don't know. I look at, you could pick a sport, you could pick players, you could pick people, and you could say, do you really care? I don't think so. I think you care about the money. Now you go on the other end and you look at different levels, lower levels, youth levels, and I think it's the exact opposite, where it's too much focus on winning, mm-hmm. and it's not about the joy of the game, teaching the game, playing the game the right way, learning all of those things that's going to carry them on into an older level or older experience. But I don't know.
I mean, to me, you got a lot of wannabe dad coaches who coach mm-hmm. and think that their kid's some hot shot, the next coming of LeBron or something. And they're not teaching fundamentals. You get them out there playing, and I hate saying it, CYC or these YMCA or upwards things, and next thing you know, you've got kids who might be more athletic and bigger, especially when they're younger, and they don't develop their game, and the next thing you know, they're getting passed up in junior high. We've talked about that before, mm-hmm. and junior high and low level success does not translate to being successful in high school and then having the opportunity to go on. So I think and then it's all about winning those games. You tell people all the time, I said, I don't really care. I don't even know what my summer record is. Hopefully I've lost more in the summer, mm-hmm. so we can get better and be better during the season when it really matters. And I think that's the problem right now is we just aren't – we have a divide between the kids who are really athletic and their parents take them and do all this stuff and don't develop them fundamentally. And then we have kids who, I don't want to do it. I would rather watch Snapchat videos and TikTok and, stupid crap like that.
So I think that if you look back at it, I think it's changed drastically in the last 5 years as far as focused on it's all about winning younger and younger and younger. And I think you've seen I honestly believe that at the high school level it's now starting to translate. You're starting to see more focus on players that just want to be good and win besides having good teams because they've focused on winning so much. At such a young age that you've lost the drill of the role player concept. We kind of mentioned this a little bit last week, but I think that the concept of winning, nobody understands team aspect and what it takes to be successful as far as maybe not winning, but maybe winning another way. And I think that we've lost concept of that. I think we're more focused on the final outcome right then, right there, instead of the overall winning down the road or vice versa. So I believe that as far as goes from winning, I think we've taken too much focus on winning.
What do you think, Coach? I mean, you've been, this side of the state. Obviously, right now you're in the Southwest. I mean, you've been all over college level. What, in your experience?
I think that, we're all coaches here. If we don't win, we might not have a job, and that's the administration's problems. And the biggest problem is parents. I mean, no doubt in my mind. And I really think that the kids, I've always thought if I had the money, I'd like to start up a little league program and let them play, have a schedule, and don't keep score at a young age, and just build them up to build them some confidence, individual confidence. And I think at the junior high level, winning is not nearly as important as the high school level. But I just believe that it has become such a win-win situation that if you don't win, we won't have a job. And that's the pressure coaches feel, that they would like to teach more fundamentals. They would like to be able to do different things. But when it's all said and done,
You've got a small window.
Yeah.
Got a small window.
Well,
you ain't winning that window.
Well, and let's take it. I mean, you're at a smaller school than maybe your years up here at DeSoto. And my question would be, you look at your roster, just go back through the years where you're at a school to where it's, 1,200, 1,500 kids. Now you're at a school that's, less than 100, maybe around?
About 150.
About 150, okay. We're going to get kids, maybe the bulk of them might be basketball 1, basketball 2 players, but they really enjoy athletics, they really enjoy competition, and they really want to be a part of it. Then you have this other group that might be 10, 11, 12 that really just want a jersey.
Yeah.
Okay? How do you reconcile, like you said, I gotta win, and now how am I going to build a roster? How am I going to build a competitive team that's, at the end of the day, you got to put a good product out on the floor to win, or court, field, wherever. But what percentage is actually committed versus what percentage actually, I'm just here because I want to be here with my friends, and I want to wear a jersey.
Well, I'm old school.
Yeah.
And the school I've been coaching at the last 3 years, the most I ever had on my team was 7. Wow. And that was my first year.
I've been there.
And this year,
I've been there.
And this year, or the last 2 years, I've had 6. And it was and one of them was foreign exchange kid that was just there.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to the first thing that parents usually will ask, or the kids are bad about it next day at school, is how many points did you score? Did you, and then they'll finally get to, did you win?
Yeah.
And then you got those parents that on the ride home, hey, you only had 14 points tonight. And
I would love to add that.
Point. They just can't understand that as coaches, we are in charge of those kids for that amount of time, and if they don't like it, take them home.
Yeah,
Just take the kid home with them, and it's just tough, and it's getting tougher. I'm so glad I'm out of that rat race. That it's just too political.
it's just
Well, I mean, it's parents living vicariously through their kids.
Yes.
You know, I was a great player, so you need to be a great player. It's like, they don't mean a damn thing.
No.
Let the kid be who they want to be. If they want to put the work in, they're going to be better. Maybe that's not their sport. Maybe it's their third sport. Maybe they like being in the band. You know, that's part of being a kid. You get those choices. You're right. It's a big problem is what parents want. And if the kid doesn't want it that bad, sorry.
Yeah.
It's not going to just happen, and you can be pissed at the coach all you want. I don't care. I've got a lot of people pissed off at me. You just have to deal with it and go on, and that's the hard thing for parents to do is just swallow their pride and just say, you know what, I'm going to let the coach do what he wants to do, and I'm going to let the kid. I mean, my kid, he's going to be or she's going to be as good as they want to be, and that's that. I'm just going to sit here and clap and be supportive. That does not happen as much as it needs to, and if it did, our jobs would be a lot easier.
oh goody.
A lot easier.
Well, and I think the other thing that you got to look at is, okay, the size of the school makes a huge difference, and the expectation of it too. I mean, let's go and you're going to a place maybe that has been, an average of winning 4 or 5 games a year, and you come in and you get the kids to what we call buy in to what you're doing. All of a sudden, those 4 or 5 wins turn into 15, but is those 15 wins what it was all about at the beginning anyway? I don't know necessarily that winning translates into winning down the road if you don't get them to buy in at the very beginning. If you don't get kids to buy in for what you're talking about, what you're preaching, and you mentioned this tonight a little bit, Coach, but I think that the concept of winning has to be a commitment. And I don't know that commitment is across the board anymore. It used to be, and it goes back to that role player where that's my job. I'm committed to my role, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to go home and worry about what mom and dad are going to tell me or grandma and grandpa are going to say. I know what my role is. I know what coach told me my role was, and I executed it tonight, and we won.
I think it goes back to kind of what you were saying. I think us as coaches, if you go back, and it could be football, it could be basketball, it could be baseball, anything, and at the end of the day, the kids know, right? Yes. But they're stuck. They're stuck between 2 adults.
Right.
They're stuck between you as coach and you as dad, and you and mom and dad. And so I think more coaching careers probably have been lost at the dinner table.
Man, did you read that comment and then?
No. Wow, I don't have my phone. I'm not on my phone, Chris.
Okay, I'm on my phone all the time.
I know.
It's called multitasking.
I can't
read a book.
That. I can't do read a book. Read. This is wait for the movie to come out.
Listen.
That's how I pass on college classes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
When parents say the opposite things to coach that their coach says, they put the child in a tough spot. Do I listen to mom and dad or do I listen to coach?
Yeah.
And that happens at the dinner table a lot. That happens on the ride home. And then
there's
all of a sudden,
I feel bad, and I'm sure we all know this. And I've had to have these conversations with kids over the past several years, is that the next day they come in, they didn't have a good game. They scored 14, but they didn't score 28 like they were expected to. And on the ride home, they just got obliterated. And they come back the next day of practice, or you have them in class, and they're just down. Like, what are you talking about? We just whooped so-and-so. And they're like, Coach, you don't understand. That ride home was brutal. And I've had the conversation to where I've said, if you need me to talk to mom and dad, I will. I've got no problem saying, look, this is where we want to be, and this is how we want to do things. And if you don't want to be a part of it, or if you can't handle that, then your kid doesn't. This is extracurricular. Like, you're going to graduate high school without having to play a sport.
And and here's the other thing that I think the expectation, and I think that I use that very word a tremendous amount. Your expectations, I think, starts from the get-go, but it starts from the top. when you come in to interview for that job, I think the most important question that any person interviewing for a job is, what's your expectations? And if the expectations meet what you were willing to sacrifice and make happen, at the end of the day, you're there to meet the expectations of what your boss has asked you to do. And so I always thought that was a very important question in anything you do. I mean, ask your expectations. What's expected of me? And I think if you meet those expectations, you're winning. And I think that's what's lost art in winning is it all about at the end of the game, I got a W next to it, or did I get a W next to it 10 years down the road?
That's a tough
balance. And it's very tough. And I've set my hat on it over the years, being a Herky. And you know what? I mean, we haven't won, a tremendous amount of games early, but, we've started to develop and win here recently. But the biggest problem I knew what the expectations were coming in, and I knew it was going to be a 5-year process, and that's what they asked me to be, 5 or 6 years, turn a page. So I didn't go into it thinking I had to win right away, where sometimes you go into places and the expectation is, hey, you got to win a district title this year. If you don't win a district title, people are going to have your head.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest issue that we deal with is the expectation part of it. I don't know that the kids get into that expectation part of it and what's expected of them because it's not communicated across the board. And I think that comes down to expectations. But, as far as winning, I think it's too much focus at a young age. It's causing more problems as they get to high school that I think we're having to deal with more than we should have because they didn't focus on the skill development, the fundamentals, the little things that are going to make them win when they get to you at high school level. And I think we are getting the blunt of that when it really, honestly, we didn't have no control over that because they played, like you said, CYC or they played, YMCA and was it focused on more of a winning or was it focused on development? So I think it comes down to it that way.
Geographically, now that you're out of the area, what do you notice? Is there a difference from Jefferson County, Mineral area, St. Louis versus Southwest in terms of we could talk about the play of basketball, but just the culture that you've noticed?
Yeah, and getting back to what Riley was saying, I've always told the kids, coaches really don't have much of a chance because they got 22 hours a day with their parents, and we get them for 2, and that don't even out. And I will say the best teams I've ever coached, I didn't have any parent complaints. Right. I mean, when I was at DeSoto, I treated those kids like dogs. I did. I mean, and they'll vouch for it. And I just treated them bad. And I'd get fired today. If I treated kids today like I treated kids back at DeSoto or at Cleveland High School, I'd get fired one day of practice.
Right.
And because you can't, and it's terrible to say, but coaches' hands are so tied that you can't teach kids how to win.
No.
Because we know what it takes to win.
Right.
But you can't teach them that because you'll be fired.
Or how
because of their precious darlings.
Or how about how to work through and move through adversity?
Yeah.
Move through a challenge.
What it's like to fail. It's okay to fail.
Right.
It's okay to fail. It's not going to be the end of the world for you to fail.
Sure
today.
it is. They're not going to get a college scholarship.
Yeah.
They're not going to go play Division I or II. This is their future on the line.
Yeah, and I think
you don't care about that. You're playing Johnny so-and-so because their dad and you are friends. I've already heard all this stuff before in my life.
Exactly.
And I'm sure Coach Rhodes, and you've heard it, and you've heard it, and we've all heard that.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, I don't sit there at night. I think you told me this one time, and sit there and just think, God, how can I make this kid's life a living hell? I cannot play him because I don't like him. Or I'm thinking about how can we win this game.
Right.
And taking the skill set that you have and how it applies to our team and our program and our philosophy and then plugging it in and trying to win the game and try to have a successful program that way along with teaching your kids how to overcome adversity, how to handle responsibility and accountability. I don't sit there and think about how much I don't like your kid. If I didn't like your kid, I would let you know.
And
I would tell them.
Yeah.
I look at them and say, I don't like your kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay? They're a turd.
Right.
Done.
Right.
Done. It's not a big deal. And I make sure I'm very open with parents when I have those parent meetings and say, listen, I'm going to coach them up, like you said. Like how you want to coach them up, how you want to treat them. We're going to make sure that they walk through fire. And when they walk out into the real world, they can go, boy, you know, my boss is kind of a butthead, but you know what? I played for Coach Miller. I can handle this. And it's not because I don't like them. It's because you want to prepare them. You want to make them tried by fire. That's the kind of people I want to hire if I'm a boss, not somebody who you're going to get onto. The next thing you know, they're over there needing a safe space.
Or they move from job to job to job.
Oh, yeah, I was like, well, you yell at me.
I
I don't want to work here no more.
But you just said it right there, and I think that's the concept that across the board in education, across the board in anything you do, it's all about winning at whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, hey, I didn't win today, but tomorrow I got to win. Tomorrow I might win, but today I didn't. I didn't have my best day today, and I didn't win. But you know what? Tomorrow's a new day, and I'm going to go back at it and fight to get to it.
It's not the final score of the game. Nope. That's the win.
Right.
It's where they started, where they come from. What did they learn along the way? What skills did we incorporate? To me, that's the value of success. If those become wins down the road in life, those are the wins that I look at. My coaching record sucks. Okay, let me just tell you right now, it sucks. I have lost so many damn more games than I've won, and I really don't care. The fact of the matter is I want these kids to be better kids, better people, better young men at the end of the day, and then when they move on, when they come back and say, Coach, hey, I appreciate you getting on to me about doing this, this, and this because it really helped me. To me, that's the win. I'll take that any day of the week. I'll take it over a state championship any day of the week. I mean, would I like to win state? Yeah, I'd like to win state.
Sure.
But to me, that's the win. The way I want to focus on success.
But that's
those
your
are success.
That's your expectation.
And I make sure I'm very clear about that.
And I think that's the key factor in it is when those kids walk in that gym, they know what's expected of them. And we don't you don't go outside that. I mean, you set that tone first and foremost with those kids, and you have to do that, and you have to get them to believe in that. If you tell them, hey, go run through that brick wall, they're going to trust that you're telling them to do something, they better go do it. And they know it's going to hurt, but you ask them to do it, so they're going to do it because that's the expectation that you put out at the very beginning.
Just say, Coach, I got this.
You know, and you know,
like, all right, man, cool.
You know, society has changed so much.
Oh my!
Has it though?
Oh my God! Let me tell you a story. Back when I was at DeSoto, and this is what I was telling you about getting fired. I had a fat farm.
I remember hearing about this.
I had a fat farm. I weighed my girls every Monday, and if they were not where because they're again, don't you think a kid in shape will give you a better performance and they'll be healthier?
Yes.
If they lose weight?
Yes.
You mean you got to run in basketball?
I put them on a scale every Monday, and I put it up on. It wasn't hidden in the locker room. It was out in the gym on the wall. How much each girl weighed. Put their weights out there, and if they didn't lose a pound a week, they had to run a mile for every pound they didn't lose. And
but I'm sure though the reason why you did that was to shame them, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It wasn't to make them better.
No,
right?
And I've had several kids go off to college and play, and they'll come back and they'll say, Coach, they don't work as nearly as hard as what you worked us. But I had no parent complaints then. Now, can you imagine putting a fat farm on your up on the stage? And
no, I'm thinking of putting my admin hat on and thinking about all the school law things that you just broke.
Yeah, I know it.
And you know what, though?
Statute
I
of
love
limitations.
it. Well, yeah, you're okay. You're okay. I'm pretty sure that's okay. But, I mean, yeah, it was a fat shaming, breach of confidentiality, you know, stuff like that. But
no parent complaint.
But you know what? And here's what I'll tell you. Your kids knew what you expected of them, and when you put that on there, They needed to meet your expectations. They didn't meet what you asked them to do, so at the end of the day, it didn't matter what mom and dad said. They knew what your expectations were, and they needed to meet that. And if they didn't, they sat. They didn't do anything. They didn't get to play. And I think that's another issue that deals with that is, there's not a lot of challenge amongst teammates to challenge each other for spots. Well, I'm averaging 15 points a game. I'm gonna start every night, no matter what. Or nobody's pushing me to get better because they already know that I'm the best player on the team, so they're not gonna push me to get better. So I don't think there's no challenges amongst each other. There's no push amongst each other because they're okay just being okay.
Well, you said it right there. You said it exactly, and I think that's human nature. And Nick Saban always talks about it. You know what? There's a difference between being average and being exceptional.
Correct.
And exceptional people don't like average people, and average people don't like exceptional people.
No, they shouldn't.
It's to go above and beyond. It's not normal.
Nick
It's not
Saban doesn't know
normal-
anything about winning. Come on, I can't listen to that guy.
I mean, but you go back to, and I think what's different, and you could tell me over the years, is the why. You're going to do the things you did in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, and then the things that have changed over the last 20 years. But the why is because this is what's best for you, and more importantly, what's best for the program.
Correct.
Which is ultimately going to cycle back to you, which is going to make you a better person. All these things that Coach already talked about. I think that gets lost now.
Oh, it does.
I don't think there's any. Listen, put aside your ego or whatever, and say, be a part of something. Be a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Right.
And I think that gets lost because what's the focus of all of the select stuff? Me. Oh wait, I didn't play enough. I'm gonna go start my own team. I'm gonna go money. It doesn't go my way. Then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. That feeds into life.
Yes.
That feeds it. Oh wait, I don't like how I'm being treated at work. I'm gonna go to a different job, or I'm gonna do this or do that. And I think, like we always say, sports is a microcosm of life, and what's happening now, it's what's happening at the youth. You see it just in a different venue when they become adults.
Well, they want to microwave success.
Absolutely.
I want to put it in the microwave and nuke it, or I want it in the fast food, like McDonald's right now. I want it now, but I don't want to put in that time. I don't want to have the accountability. I just want you to give it to me,
Right.
like as soon as earthly possible.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of programs that haven't won, hence the bad coaching record. At schools, just about like Coach Rhodes here, with 7 kids. The 7th kid on the bench was nicknamed Pooh Bear because he was like literally the nicest kid ever. Fun stories. So I've been there, and to try to get those kids to understand what it's like to win and build a winning culture when they've just been nothing but losing, it's hard to do.
Very hard.
And it's like, listen, we can win games. They're all looking at you like, what the hell's that guy smoking? Yeah, it's like, okay, dude, this is, whatever school. And I hated hearing that, but you're trying to get them to understand, like, we're not going to just jump into it and just win right away. It's going to take some time. There's going to be little victories along the way that's going to make it into this big victory. And even my kids, like I always talk about that first year at Grandview where we were really bad. And those 5 kids that they quit everything they ever played, and they stuck through it with Eddie, my freshman coach. He played on that team as a senior. They won 3 games, but those kids, I told them from the get-go, I said, you guys are going to be the foundation of what we build.
Right.
You might not win, okay? I can't promise you're going to win anything, but you guys are going to be what we build off of because you bought in. And what you're talking about with buy-in. So that's the important part, because eventually that success is going to grow because you set the standard for how you're supposed to do things.
Correct.
And then that's what you continue to build on. The problem that we all run into as coaches is an agenda about people from the outside of the program saying, you should have won now. You should be winning now. You're not playing my kid. My kid isn't getting to play. I'm going to go and complain to a board member. Oh, wait, I am a board member.
There's the problem. Because
I like private schools. I don't have to worry about that now.
You could have all of that bluster, You can have all that, but it's the fact that decisions get made based off of that. Instead of, hey, you can blow hot air all you want. I'm not.
You can only
as the man or the woman who's the decision maker up top. Hey, you know what? You blow hard all you want.
But you can only
happen.
control what you can control. So,
Correct.
I mean, at the end of the day, I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, did I do what's right for the kids?
Right.
And this is what I'm going to do. And if someone else comes along and says, hey, you can't work here no more, okay, cool. Because if I go and do it again, this is how I'm going to do it again. If I have to do the same thing, and that's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm. I think here, before we go to break here, real quick, I think the biggest thing that we take away from that is what is your definition of winning? And I think that's the concept that we have to take as coaches, we have to take as parents, we have to take as kids. Mm-hmm. What is your definition of winning? Have we put too much focus on winning?
On the W's and L's versus
the actual winning, and I think that's the concept that we need to take from the whole question that we asked. Is I think it's more about a W or an L. It's about winning, and if we take that focus about winning across the board, I think you'll see much more success in our society. I think you'll see more people being more, successful forever, because that's the belief that you have to believe in. But I don't know that that's there yet. I don't think that's there yet because not everybody wants to win.
Well, Charlie Sheen wants to win.
Well, I don't think everybody wants to win. They want to get that.
Tiger blood. Winning.
They want to get. It's all about me. It's not about winning. It's all about me.
True.
So, but Ray, we'll go turn it over to you for a commercial break, and so we appreciate you watching the Coach's Box.
Yeah, we know we're experiencing some sound issues. Going to work on that during the break here, so stay tuned with us. And they're going to eat some chips, and we're going to get this all fixed here. So you're watching Coach's Box. We'll be right back.
For fine Mexican cuisine,
a family atmosphere.
any place you look for sport teams. Come out to La Pachangas. Check out our 4 locations: Arnold, Herculaneum, Crystal City, and Monterrey. Come out to La Pachanga.
Wiley Agencies have locations in Festus and Arnold to serve you. We offer home, vehicle, business, and life insurance, as well as investments and much more. We utilize a custom approach to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. Give us a call today for rates and savings at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Arnold office. We'll be happy to review your current coverage or just talk sports. You can also email us at SeanWiley@allstate.com.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Kroedinger with Home by SMCI. Whether it's residential or commercial, we have the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, even help dust in your house. They install easily, less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products that we do offer, give us a call at 636-337-4444 or send us an email at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey Dalen, check this out. It says right here, your father and I are second cousins. We're related.
Well, if that's the case, you owe me a graduation present.
Very funny.
At least you can say you're related to an all-conference and all-district baseball player. How does that feel?
I will admit, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Hey Dalen,
Yeah.
at least you could say you're related to a famous sports media person. What's that like?
I wouldn't know. But I do know to watch the Main Street Sports Show on Livestream STL.
The Main Street Sports Show, shining a light in Jefferson County.
Very funny.
I think Main and Mill Brewing Company is basically something created on community, created on the idea that local pubs still exist and are a good place to be, not just for somebody looking for a beer, but for a family to come in and grab a bite to eat. I think the original business model that we had was making sure that we are a family hub. We're in the middle of still redoing our Barrel Works building, putting beers in cans, being able to do more kegs. We're beginning the planning elements of a new tap room with potentially some food elements and everything along that lines that kind of expands the idea of Main and Mill into something maybe a little bit different, a little bit more in a new location. All of that's been created by the love and support that we've gotten from around the community. It's something we're proud of. I think the community's proud of it, and hopefully we can continue to make the community proud with an expansion that we've got going in the works now.
Hey, Ray Halbrook here with Livestream STL. We hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast. Do us a huge favor. Check out our brand new website, livestreamstl.tkdssports.com. There you'll see plenty of information about your schools, articles about different games and whatnot, and we appreciate you checking that out. Do us a huge favor also. We'd really like for you to mention Livestream STL to your athletic directors and superintendents. Tell them you want us in there to bring high value to your school. We'd appreciate that. And thanks again for watching tonight's broadcast.
Hey, this is Chris Miller, and you're watching the Coach's Box on Livestream STL, the best sports streaming show there is on Facebook.
Kids still today remember, the impact you had on them and miss that kind of impact that you make on kids. And so that's the important part about what we talk about winning. 10 years down the road or 8 years down the road or however many it is for her. But, it's the point of the agenda is at the end of the day, she appreciated what you did for her and probably made her a better person. And when she got out in society and had to do the real world, she meant a lot to her. So that's something that goes about that, with that. So
I always felt sorry for her because it's her senior year, and she tore her ACL and missed her whole senior year after a very promising junior campaign.
I remember that.
She was really coming on, and it's just a shame. But she stuck right there with it, and finished the season, did everything we asked. But she couldn't get on the floor, and it was just painful to see her on the bench that whole year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then she was able to regroup and go to college and play basketball at Fontbonne, right, if I'm not mistaken. And so, that was a perfect example of, not just giving up and knew what the expectations were, didn't let an injury just shut her off and bought into the expectations that you had for her and said, hey, if you want to do this, you want to play at the next level, you got to continue to keep fighting every day and show up, be a part of it, being committed to it, and it paid off. And so I think that's another perfect example of what we are trying to get out there. But moving on to the next topic here, I think that this is something that, I think we didn't get to kind of experience this year as far as with COVID. But
some of us did at the super spreader event.
Well, that's true.
I was there. Hey, still marked safe from the super
Did you get anything?
No.
I didn't get anything.
No.
Do you think that person from the Post-Dispatch did? I hope so. Piece of crap.
So moving on
They
to
weren't
that
even
one.
there.
You're not bitter or anything.
Not
right?
at all. I can't tell. I can't
No,
tell.
I just think it's
Not
stupid.
bitter.
So the question becomes do you think sports teams do better when they have more enthusiastic fans, or do you think it really matters?
Oh, I totally think it matters. It's momentum, the big mo. I mean, that's why you have the Cameron Crazies. I mean, that's why.
Of course, you went with Duke.
Well, of course. Hey, speaking of,
Speaking
I already know.
Hey,
You had to go meet there and see that place.
Went there, went on vacation last week, went to the Outer Banks. We drove, 16 hours, whatever it was. Got to make the stop. Duke University. Man, fantastic. Bucket list. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, totally. Big momentum. Definitely.
Well, here's what I also think. And I think that sometimes, I think now in today's, you look at it across the board, maybe at the high school level, I think you've lost interest in school spirit at the high school level. You don't see, back when I played, the student section was packed, full. Kids had no shirts on in the front row and had your logo on it, and it was excitement.
Yeah.
No matter win or lose, they were there, and it was excitement. And every Friday they had a pep rally in the last hour of the day, and got kids round up and be there tonight, and and in stands or whatever. It's just, I think that's become a lost thing in schools, is the excitement around sports. I think, and we've talked about this a lot.
Participation, just doing activities. I mean, and when you were in teaching and before retirement, and Chris, you can say, being in the classroom, it seems like over the last 16 years versus when we were in school, it seemed like 85% when we were in school, 85% of the population did everything. We did activities, sports, fine arts, clubs, and maybe 10-15% didn't. Okay, they were the ones that maybe went to work, did this, then. Honestly, going into teaching, and over the last 16 years, it's flip-flopped.
Right.
It's 15% of the kids, 15% of the student body does it all.
I agree.
And 85% they show up and they leave. And I tell my students this every year. Get involved in clubs, get involved in activities, extracurriculars, because you know what? You only have one high school career, make the most of it. And I think high school would absolutely be boring if all you did was show up at 8 o'clock and left at 3. I probably would have hated it too.
I agree.
But go do something, go be a part of it.
So here's the question. Why do you think that's gotten to that, and does it need to be fixed?
Well,
technology.
I think this right here, exactly right. I think technology has changed that. There's more things for them to do. I can go and watch a video game. I can go play a video game on this. I can go and do, other things now.
Check my stocks.
Yeah. And so,
His Robinhood account.
As far as that goes, and I don't know necessarily that we put a lot of emphasis on support amongst each other, and so I think if you walk into a school and you see kids in the hallways talking to each other, you don't hardly see that. I'm not in the hallways every day, but I'm coming in and around and out at the end of the day, and you don't see kids talking to each other in the hallways, and they're on this right here. Their faces right here.
Okay. I know where this is going.
You know where this is going. Okay.
Story time.
Story time. Taught at DeSoto, right? Big school. Okay. Taught North County, right? Big school. All right. Kid, this happened every year. Come the fourth quarter, last month of the school year, kid will come up, ask us that. Well, hey, we'll go ask so-and-so for help. Who? I said, so-and-so. Who's that? You mean to tell me you've been in the same class for an entire school year and you don't know everybody's name in the classroom? No.
Hey, where I went to school, you knew everybody in the whole school.
In the whole school.
Right.
In the whole school.
That was just commonplace.
Yeah, but that's, I think, part of why you talk about kids' involvement, this whole topic that we're on. There is a disconnect when it comes to actually communicating.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, that translates into, kids talking, asking you for help, or, I mean, hell, they'll email you like.
I would say, did kids email you questions, or would they like not even talk to you? Just want to
It's
send
amazing.
an email?
It's amazing. You can have lunchroom duty, and there'll be a boyfriend, girlfriend sitting right next to each other.
They're not talking to each other.
They ain't
They're
talking.
texting each other.
Yep.
Yes.
They're
yes.
texting each other.
Yes.
And I'll be like, she's right there. Don't you talk to her?
They're doing all that Insta Snap or something.
Oh my gosh.
Insta Snap book.
That's what I tell them all the time.
Yeah.
You got your face snap going, and they're just like, what?
But and then I also think that here's the other thing is that it's changed a little bit in, as far as schools, so many schools in such a closer area. I think you've become a lost art in rivalries. I think rivalries have become a little bit of a lost art because of the way scheduling has to go about. I think scheduling changes a lot of things now because you have to, the way like for instance football goes with you're playing a higher class, you get more points, you get a chance to. So you don't maybe not play some of those schools that were your rivalries.
It's just not
10 years ago. Now they don't even play.
Well, it's just not a point of emphasis anymore.
No.
Like one year out at the View, a couple years teaching geography. My first unit, we're talking about, hey, let's go all the way down to Jefferson County.
Mm-hmm.
Let's name the cities, this, that. And I would do a unit on, or a lesson on, hey, all the schools, what are the schools' mascots, who's in our conference, just to try and build up, because once again, you're trying to build up school spirit, you're trying to build up rivalry. I thought Potosi was in our conference, or I thought Kingston was in our conference, or I thought, no clue, because once again, it's something that I think has gone by the wayside.
Right.
And it's just not important anymore.
There's no pride anymore in schools.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it used to be that, I attended Herculaneum, and
Did everybody attend Herculaneum?
I did not.
Sorry, Coach.
Although
what's wrong with that?
Everybody
he was the
is
man
what's
when I
wrong
worked
with
there.
that?
He was the man when I worked there.
Anyway, sorry.
And it was a pride thing that to put on a Herky uniform. It was a pride thing,
Right.
and you just didn't. Girls did not wear their boyfriend's Letterman jacket from Festus to Herky.
Oh,
No
heck
way.
no. You'd be flogged for that.
Hold on, time out. Those don't even exist anymore.
Right.
Hardly.
Letterman's jacket?
Very hardly.
Those
Very
don't even
much.
exist.
Isn't that crazy?
And I think every kid that went through Herky they got red-bellied in the locker room by the seniors.
Yes.
I mean, and it was going to happen to you.
Right.
Just miss the good old days.
And nowadays it's like, we'll sue you, or
Yes.
there's just no pride in communities. And used to be like I took my Festus kids and we'd go play someplace and there'd be pictures of the mascots up on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, who's that? I don't know.
Right.
And that was just common.
Yes.
When we were you knew everybody's mascot.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Right.
And I think that the other thing that I think is lost is I think we're more focused on, once again, and I'm not dissing anything, but I think we're more focused on these scores in schools, on these test scores, than we are about building character amongst kids and teaching them how the right from wrongs, the teaching them the life lessons, the teaching them how to change a tire, or those kind of things. I think have become a lost art. I mean, we used to have PE when I was in high school, and that was one of our PE lessons was how to change a tire. The PE teacher brought his car up on the side of the road over there by the gym, and we all went out there and learned how to tie.
He had a flat.
But
he was like, I'm going to get my kids to fix this over and over and over again.
But Riley, I don't remember that. So,
I happen to have it. But you know what?
It's Illinois.
Illinois Rhodes, right?
Hey, we've got some comments, and I think they're really good. Deanna Marie Rowland here. Some of the best memories of my life. 2-time state champs due to this fantastic coach. He made us all buy in. We had our roles, and it was a great ride. So there you go, from Deanna Marie Rowland over there to you, Coach. And then also Jason Therrell. Last thing I'll add is the high school game needs people like Coach Rhodes. I feel the same way about Coach McFarland at Festus right now. Guys who have been in it forever and offer so much experience for the kids and other coaches to learn from. It was valuable to me to watch Coach run a practice or coach a game. His players love playing for him as well. Got more. Danny Denton says the reason why we had the advantage was because of the lead. That is an untrue. And David Jarvis, DeSoto versus Festus girls back when Lexi was in school was a great rivalry as well. Shelley Blankenship, I cannot speak for all the girls, but my daughter feels a major competitive spirit in basketball in regards to Windsor and Festus than the other schools. When our freshman girls beat Windsor freshman girls this past season, it was a celebration. You definitely got the feels of rivalry at the game. So it's not dead, but it's definitely not like it used to be.
It's not the. I mean, when I was in school at Crystal, the Festus Crystal matchup for basketball, I mean, was top notch. I mean, you had a small school, big school, cross, Twin City. I mean, it was a rivalry.
Right.
And that was some of the best. I mean, sitting at the end of the bench on the other side of the water jug, it was still exciting to be a part of. And, just those memories. Or my freshman year, it was DeSoto was large school leader, and it was Bourbon his senior year. And then you had Riney from Crystal, his senior. Large school MVP, small school MVP. They're going to go head-to-head, Crystal City. We had a freshman game. We were at Kingston. We said, Coach, we got to play this game. We got to end it quick so we can all go back and watch this game. So we get back, and long story short, Bourbon dropped about 30 in the first half, and we walk in the door.
Yeah, he could play a little bit.
Yeah, and we're already down like 25-30. And you're like, oh, man. But it was in the – here you go. It was built up in the paper. It was built up on the radio. I mean, it was
talked about.
There you go.
And then where was that? The Pit?
No, it was at Crystal.
Oh,
the Pit was awesome.
The Pit was awesome.
No better place to play.
I got to say though, when we were out at Grandview, we played. I don't want to name what school it was, Bourbon, and they came over and we had a good. And again, this is the year we weren't any good. And we had a really good pep club that night. I don't know what we tried to do. We were always trying to get kids to come in. And kids were doing chants, and it wasn't anything out of, it wasn't anything vulgar. It wasn't anything inappropriate. And their administrator came over and had to make some kind of comment that our kids are being disrespectful and unsportsman. I'm thinking, that's the stupid crap right now that's killing everything we've just talked about. Mm-hmm. That's just not nice to do. You know what? Shut up. Yeah. Go watch a choir concert and just shut your mouth. You're the kind of person that's killing anything that's remotely close to being competitive.
Yeah.
And how do you make a bunch of stinking sissies? That's the kind of crap right there. And I can't stand it.
Vashon always had a little cheering section that
I bet.
I laugh, and it was UGLY, you ain't got no alibi. You ugly. You ugly. And they would, when somebody get on the free throw line, that'd be it.
They say.
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi. You ugly.
Well, I know.
And now you can't say anything.
No. I know none of you guys know, but I mean, South Iron and Clearwater was, especially when I was in high school, Clearwater ended up in my senior year, went to the quarterfinals. Mm-hmm. We won districts 3 years in a row, and we had a pretty good team. The gym was packed. And talk about pep clubs. We all knew each other. You're only 25 minutes away from each other. And
there you go.
So everybody knew everybody. We all hung out. Mm-hmm. And the chants and the things that they would say to us and that we would our kids say to them, oh, my gosh. I mean, you couldn't get away with that stuff anymore.
Well, you talk about that. Let's talk about a sectional game. I mean, you don't see now where a sectional game where people start lining up at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
That happened back in the day. Now, I mean, sectional game, people get there at 5 o'clock. Yeah. Oh, I'm on ticket. Okay, go ahead.
You might go see it. You're gonna go watch a Tatum. Mm-hmm. That's gonna draw. You're gonna watch a Beal. You're gonna watch but you're watching it. You're gonna watch Porter Porter Jr. and that's what's gonna be the 9 o'clock. Hey, you better get a ticket.
I was gonna say that when I watched CBC and Chaminade play at Lindenwood, you had to buy those tickets in advance, and there was a damn line all the way out into the parking lot. It was awesome.
But go back to just the fact that where the kids sit in a district tournament.
Yeah.
You can't be under the goal. You got to only stand here. Kids have to be here. You can't do this. You can't do that. There's all these restrictions.
You're standing too much.
Once again,
don't make too much noise.
Once again,
don't stomp.
Don't stomp.
Don't stomp.
It's the expectations, and you know what? I think it boils down to this.
But pay $10.
I want your money, but you can't say anything. You got to sit there in that stands and just be a freaking statue and watch.
The most enthusiastic fan I ever saw, though, was when I was coaching at Zalma. We were playing Marquand in their little crackerjack crap hole of a gym, and that one-armed man had a cowbell. And every time they did something great, he just hammered that cowbell. And, of course, me being I'm 22 years old, I pulled the official aside and said, he can't have that noisemaker. Well, then there was a deputy sheriff over there, and he tried to go and tell the guy to put that away, and he said a few choice words to him, and
didn't go away, did it?
No, well, he went away. They handcuffed his one arm to his belt loop and marched him right out of there. It was the best thing I ever saw in my life.
Oh my God!
And I was like, you need more cowbell. I got a fever.
I thought that was a joke. Really, in all honesty,
100% true story.
But the point of that is, and I really wish that there was more of this pep clubs and build excitement around it where there's something incentives.
Yeah.
And kids, as much as you know it, kids need incentives today. There has to be something for them at the end.
T-shirt cannon.
And give them something to be excited
slingshot
about.
for you.
No. I want the T-shirt cannon with the CO2 tank.
We talked about this before we go to real quick, Ray. We
Sure.
talked about this. Jason Gilman and I were talking about this last year. If your sports are successful, your kids are successful in the classroom.
Yeah.
Because
Football always
they
sets
want to
the
be
tone.
there.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of it because, hey, this is great. This is awesome. I'm watching these teams win, and it's excitement. I want to be at school every day because I want to be around that. I want to be a part of that.
That goes back to winning. What winning in the classroom. And I know with girls basketball, I hardly ever had a kid that had bad grades
or missed school.
Yeah, but now boys are a different story. And I've never had. I can never remember losing a kid because of grades. For one, I was on them.
Right.
And the other is they knew that if they had bad grades, bad things were going to happen to them.
Correct. They knew the outcome.
Can't do
Wasn't
that
pretty.
anymore.
Wasn't
Can't
pretty.
do that anymore.
That there's a perfect example. So you administrators, you parents, get excited about
there's
your
nothing.
kids.
And like I said, the North County kids, man, if you're talking North County Farmington, North County Central, they would do it right. And it was what you want. You want a packed gym. You got the kids under a rim. You got the other kids on the other. And they're dogging each other from warm-ups.
Yes.
And they're there, and they got their theme night. But here's the difference. Here's what, hey, on the intercom, announcements there every morning. Hey, all week, Central game this Friday, whiteout. Let's go. Let's fill the stands.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. It's talked about.
It's talked about.
And it's communicated about. And I'll tell you, the one story that I have at Herculaneum, we had a rivalry game, that we had a pep rally or whatever, and we had a teacher come out of the stands. She was sitting in the bleachers with her class that she was assigned to, and she got up just out of clear blue and just got up in center court and just started doing this big chant. And the entire gym went crazy, and when it got excited, you don't see that. You don't see that anymore, and because I don't know. And then once again, the flip side of that is these kids aren't excited about it, so it feeds off each other, and nobody feeds off each other. So there's going to be a dead moment all the time, and it's sad because there is a lot of fun games out there.
There used to be pride and the spirit stick. Some schools don't even have the spirit stick anymore.
Don't even know what that is.
No.
Most kids don't even know what that means.
Right.
But Ray, we'll turn it back over to you here for a commercial break.
They might mistake that spirit stick for
other
whatever.
things. Yes,
I
know.
So I'm just saying, it is what it is.
It's a true statement.
That's true. So there you go. We're going to go into our next break here. We'll be back for round 3 here of the Coach's Box. We'll be right back. The Brick is a locally owned and family-operated restaurant, pizza parlor, coffee house, and gathering place for all in the heart of historic Festus Main Street. Enjoy Friday evening concerts on the back patio or our Saturday pig wing specials. It's an experience like no other. Come on out to 218 East Main Street or call 636-638-2000.
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Jefferson College has affordable degree options for students of all ages. Plus, register before December 11th and you could win a $250 book scholarship or other great prizes. Jefferson College provides safe on-site and online options and many exciting career pathways like humanities, business, social science and public service, math, physics and technology, and science and health. Students who know, go Jeffco. Enroll now at jeffco.edu.
This live stream SDL has been a huge asset for Jefferson County sports, in my opinion. I mean, getting these athletes the camaraderie that they're out there and people can see them. I mean, to be honest with you, I got a call from a coach yesterday about one of my athletes that said that they saw some of her games on live stream SDL.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that right there instilled to me that this is important. This is important for those kids. And so, I think it's great, and I wish you guys the best. And if you're out there and you want to sponsor, this is a great opportunity for kids to support kids of our local kids and get them support and get them acknowledgement out there, because we have a lot of great athletes in this county.
Well, we appreciate that. And at the end of the day, our mission is much the same as your missions, coaches, to help shine a light on these kids. And get them exposure and get their name out there and help them. And if they can advance, they're better off, we're better off as a community, and that's why we're here.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. Knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
Hi, this is Coach Riley Blair from the Herculaneum Blackcats.
Hi, this is Coach Jarvis from the Herculaneum Blackcats.
Hi, this is Coach Zach McVeigh with the Jefferson Lady Blue Jays.
Hi, I'm Chris Miller from St. Pius X High School.
And you're watching the Coach's Box.
And you are watching the Coach's Box
on Livestream STL.
On Livestream STL.
And we are back for our final round of the Coach's Boxer. Thanks for being with us all evening here. I appreciate all of the comments, so keep them coming. If we've got some comments you want to make on the next different topics that we talk about, feel free to do so. And we're going to roll right straight in here. And we have another coach decides to show up here. Hey, Coach Jarvis, how you doing?
Doing great.
How you doing there, Coach?
I'm trying to get better at basketball, man.
There you go. I like it. And
gotta try to beat those Lancers,
There you go. He's back from.
Miller's here.
Wait, whoa.
Been here. We got matching shirts. Been here.
Yep. Twinsies over here.
Twinsies.
Right. I guess me and you need to coordinate some Black Cat stuff.
We should. Yeah.
Now, is he coming again tomorrow?
No. Just today.
Oh. Okay.
I got it on video, though. I'll share it.
Okay.
But we want to first start. I know Coach Jarvis got a little story for Coach Rhodes here that he wants to ask him about. I just don't know for sure if we want to.
I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to.
What are you talking about? All I said was,
I don't know what you're talking about.
oh my gosh! I wish I could call Ken Jones right now and put him on the air because
he might be.
He's probably secretly watching
right
now.
He
might be low-key
They added
watching.
time to the clock. The game was over. What should have been over, and they added time to the clock. You guys got the ball back and ended up winning. Because I can remember Rick Bowen at the end of the game. It's good. Running off the court. I'm like, he's the ref.
He's the ref.
But I can't remember the particulars, but except there was time added on the clock. After a call was made, time was added onto the clock. To extend the game. We should have won it before that anyway. We should have made free throws, and we didn't.
You lost like the Americans to the Soviets. Don't worry, that happened to me a couple years ago at Capital City. We lost to a team with 2 wins. They put time back on the clock and hit a shot and beat us.
Time was put back on the clock. He may not remember it because of a minute win against Crystal City, but yes, time was put on the clock at the wonderful Dragon Lair. And
Dragon Lair.
That was back in my girls' coaching days, and I was the assistant that got all the assist on Jones's technicals, but he'd always blame them on me.
I definitely would hope he's watching right now. Hope he's watching for that.
I know.
Well, if he ain't watching now, he's watching at some point.
Oh, he'll watch it. But I don't. That was a long time ago. I forget stuff. But
Thank you.
I remember,
he's gonna remember that one.
But I remember they put time on the clock. Man, Jones was. He's one of the hottest I've ever seen him.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I mean, them refs got off the court as fast as I think it was Rick Bowen, and then it used to be the dad and son combo that used to always do games over there.
Last
name. His last
Millers.
name.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the Millers. The Millers.
We're the Millers.
It was the oldest Miller, I think, with Rick.
That's
good
fun
refs.
stuff. Good.
Yeah, I'm sure. You and O.L. Davis had some good refs over there.
Man.
Hey, I will say, though, when I was in North Carolina, his last year at Festus, been doing this 17 years now, had 3 guys I've never seen before and never seen since.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they must have went to school with him.
Never seen before.
You sound like you're Bruce.
Oh,
actually, we've all seen Bruce the same referees he's used. He told me that he said he's got to use SIBO referees from now on. And I said, why is that? He said, because the guys at the family union are getting too old.
Well, he'd always say.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I got a good kick out of that one.
My favorite was 2 years ago when he came over and he goes, how'd you like that? I even brought my own refs up here. I'm like, yep, you sure did, didn't you?
Or I love don't you get the ball at half court after a timeout? Sure enough, he got the ball at half court after a timeout.
Did he not? And I'm standing there, I'm like, are you serious? And they gave him the ball at half court.
It was the funniest thing ever.
Because you were behind me.
Yes, Jarvis could not say anything because he was just so hot. He's like, it's not going to change anything, so why even argue it?
Well, and that ref was already ready to get on.
He was already ready to give you one, but it was just quite funny. I was like, is this really happening down here?
I just sat down.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
And I even brought it up to Bruce at the all-conference meeting. I said, yeah, now when you call a timeout, it's like the NBA. You get it at half court, right?
He just laughed. That never happens. Fun stuff. All right, well, let's move into our final topic here for the evening.
Yeah, let's just move on into that.
So,
man. Someday, maybe when I'm old, the refs will like me. Doubt it.
So should the price of admission be lowered in sports? And in return, should that take down how much professional athletes make? Do you
we
believe
talking
that's
about pro sports?
Pro sports, yes.
Well,
pro or college, I guess you could say, because now college athletes get paid.
I don't think you need to spend that much to go to a college basketball game or college football game. I mean, once again, you're talking about a family.
To go to Duke, I guarantee
Oh,
you're going
yeah.
to spend some pretty good money.
Well, it's because it's only 3,000 seats.
Well,
you're going to go to Rupp Arena, you're going to spend a lot of money.
Hey, wait, Kentucky, the prices are cheaper?
No way.
I tell you this, I can get Mizzou tickets a hell of a lot cheaper than I can get
You can
Kentucky
get
tickets.
50 Mizzou tickets for the price of one at Kentucky. I can promise you that.
At what point, if you're an owner, are you now? They're obviously billionaires, so they know
the wallet.
They know what the heck they're doing. But what point are you cutting off your nose to spite your face when, hey, a family of four is going to have to drop $300, $400?
You don't care about a family of four.
I'm just saying. But if enough families of four say we can't afford it, we're not going.
They're not doing it though. They're
not going.
Well, there's a lot of family of fours not going. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still people going.
I think the biggest problem becomes is I think if you lowered the cost of people to get in, one, it build more excitement around, but when St. Louis is a different animal compared to a lot of places.
Well, are they going to lower the beer prices too?
I hope they lower everything.
There you go.
I was just wondering.
There you go.
Not for my sake,
but
for Miller's sake.
when you
I'm being
do
good
that,
this week.
Do you think that has an impact? Going back to our last topic, do you think that has an impact on professional sports when you say if there's more people in the stands, they feed off that, they play better, they do more things efficiently, I guess you could say. I know I was at that baseball game yesterday. It was a great baseball game from first pitch on. So it was a quality baseball game, as in both teams played quality baseball, and the team that made basically came out the last.
Was it loud when Reyes was finishing that game off?
Yeah, it was exciting. It was crazy in there, even though he had almost blew it again. But you know what?
Almost
24 for 24.
How many more? Gosh,
it was nuts. He got down to first and second, and one out.
I watched
and
the whole
like,
thing.
Oh,
believe me, but
you couldn't hear a pin drop in there. It was insanely crazy and loud the entire ninth inning. But once again, everybody knew they already put it on the freaking big screen.
They knew it was coming.
He was getting ready to get a chance to break a record, and it was talked about. And even the public address announcer said coming to the mound, and they mentioned it, so the crowd was into it. It was all about that. But I think that when you come down to it, I think you would. There were still a ton of open seats there yesterday, and I believe that it entices it's a lot of money to go watch a game. A family of two is $100 just to get in the door.
I was going to say, I don't know. Do companies or corporations, are they buying a bulk? I get the whole
owner's boxes,
suites and all of that, but you might have the Charters or the whoever, the AT&Ts, whoever. They might be buying a bunch of seats and then giving away as well. Obviously, the people are making money hand over fist. They know what they're doing in terms of their pricing. But once again, if you're a Tampa, okay, let's not go
Pittsburgh.
A Pittsburgh.
There we go. Let's use that.
Okay, let's do a Pittsburgh.
Perfect
where
example.
You probably have to do some managing of your prices because once again, how do you win? How do you build? The culture, all of that. And I know we get spoiled here in St. Louis with the Cardinals. But I honestly, though, when you say about the players, pros don't care. They care about the money.
Yeah, I know.
Because at the end of the day, whether they got people in the stands or not, if they're hitting, they're getting a contract.
They're getting paid.
If they're throwing strikes, they're getting a contract. That's all.
And I think if you take into consideration that, that's why I think it's important if you lowered the cost of people to come in there. Would it be at a flip side of that? Do you think players would want to play in that kind of atmosphere? You talk about listening to, Nolan talks about how the atmosphere in St. Louis,
right,
is one of the biggest reasons why he came here.
He ain't going nowhere either.
Nope. I think that says a lot about what St. Louis fans are like and what people want to come here to play. And so, regardless, win or lose, people want to play in that atmosphere. People want to play it that way.
All right. Well, I just pulled up the Brewers at the Pirates Wednesday. So you got the team that's playing the Pirates is leading the division. For their lower field box infield, which is on the first base line, second row, $59
for one ticket.
for one ticket.
Paid that for the bleachers.
Yeah,
Second row?
Second row, first base side.
I haven't been to a Cardinal game in a long time.
I haven't been to a professional.
Bob
sports.
Tewksbury doesn't play anymore, by the way.
Man.
Sorry, I like.
I was thinking Bob Force, but even better.
I mean, it's out of hand, and to be honest with you, this goes even further, in my opinion, than just professional or even college. How much stinking money does it cost for admission to go to a sectional or a playoff game that Misha runs?
High school.
Because every level you're going up.
To go to a game this year, I'm like,
and I don't know how it is now. I mean, when it was in Columbia and you went to Mizzou,
$7.
You'd have the 2 sessions, and you had to pay for each session to go. And it's like, holy crap! I had to save up so much stinking money just to do this. I'm a teacher. I mean, come on.
This year, it cost $10 a game to get in. And then after every game, they ran you out, and you had to pay $10 again to get in for every game. And I guess there was 5 or 6 games a day. You know, you're talking about high school. And you're talking about $60. And used to you could get a pass and sit there all day.
Yep.
$7
and watch all the games.
Yep.
And
I don't know.
And there's nobody there.
Where's that money going?
Wait, Mission's not for profit.
Where's that money
It's not
going?
about the money. It's about the kids. They're doing it for the kids.
Where's that dollar?
It's all about their education.
Where's that soda money?
Can you turn my volume down a little?
Here's what I'll tell you.
Here, let me.
I'm joking, but
if you go to, you go to the state tournament, there's hardly anybody there.
Yeah,
it's empty.
It's because they moved it.
Well,
That's because they moved it.
It's not the center of the state.
Exactly. Why do you want to go 5
Wait,
hours?
I know. Because that's exactly right.
Everything's money, guys. Everything's always.
They got a better deal to host there than they did at Mizzou. Mizzou wanted more money, and they're just like, yeah, we're not doing that. We don't make enough money.
Okay.
And everybody here, like, all right.
Well, they're not making anything now because there's nobody there.
Well, no, but they'll watch it online. They'll pay for the money. I watched it online and sat in my office and watched it.
But it's
the way it is.
But the frustrating thing about it, I think it becomes too is are we about the money? Are we about the money, or are we about the opportunity for these kids?
No, you're not. It is about the money.
I think that's where I get a little frustrated with when we look at the big picture side of this, and I think that's why I wanted to bring this topic up. Was I think that you would see more people be excited about professional sports. One, if the cost to get in was cheaper.
Right.
I also believe that you would see more people coming to the games if the cost was cheaper and the players got paid less. Because
that's never going to happen there.
And the reason why I'll say that is because I think more people want to know that their guys are there to win, to have a chance to be successful.
Jack Flaherty wants to be here to win? No. He wants
– he's going to next year.
Straight cash, homie.
There you go.
Straight cash.
Money.
And – I mean, Dallas Mavericks and Suns, there didn't look like there was any empty seats in that arena to me. And you're saying, okay, well,
but here's
your argument is let's charge $5 to get in. They're not going to charge $5 when they can fill an arena like they are right now.
But I think here's what I can tell you. How many of those people in that place are making 6 figures and can pay that?
Oh, I'm sure they are.
$500.
Or they're saving up money and they go to one game and – out of that whole time, it's
a family affair because we're geographically we don't have. You're talking Memphis, because I know people that'll say, hey, we save up. We're big NBA fans. They're going to go down to Memphis for the weekend or
my son's been to Memphis. He's been up to Indianapolis. Not with me because I don't have that kind of money. Yeah. But he's been to like 5 or 6 NBA games.
And that's 5 or 6 more than I've ever been to.
I've never been to one.
It's just like go back
field trip.
Go back
field trip.
Yeah, coach's box field trip.
Go back to when the Rams
were on the road.
When the Rams were here.
I never been to Rams game.
I went to one game where we paid. It wasn't in St. Louis. It was in Indianapolis. I went to one game at St. Louis when it was in the TWA Dome because it was free.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford it.
I got a lot of free tickets when they were
free.
I got a lot of free tickets too.
Yeah.
You couldn't afford
on the sideline.
to go to an NFL game.
I said I
said it's some good seats.
When you look at that,
do
you think that's a big time thing that maybe there needs to be more focus on, is allowing more fans to attend and be able to attend? Let's put it that way.
So before the Blues won the Cup, I would love going to Blues games. Number one, I think watching hockey in person is
awesome.
the best spectator sport to watch.
10-1.
It's so much better. The action's better. Anytime someone shoots and almost makes it, you can hear the crowd gasp.
Talking about comparing TV versus real life.
I'm talking about watching any game in person, watching it on TV. It doesn't matter. The only way it's better is if I was playing it.
McVay, you've been to a hockey game?
No, he doesn't like hockey. Yeah.
It's really easy. It's really
so my point is this: the cost of going to a hockey game before they won the Cup was so much cheaper than going to. You could get good seats,
Hey, I think
and watch a Blues game.
I think
for seats that you're sitting way up high to watch a Cardinals game.
I think my brother-in-law, after they won, looked into it just for 2 seats in the upper bowl, $1,400 for season.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, and it doubled in price because I actually looked it up. It was $700 before to sit 2 rows from the top. Oh yeah, we win the Cup. Yeah. It's like, let's raise the prices.
Which you get it.
That's what you get. You get COVID, and it knocks you all out and suck it, just like that. I'm just kidding.
You didn't throw $1,100 in front of that.
My cousin's husband, he does a thing where he gets season tickets, but then they do a whole pool, and you can get in, and then you get so many of them.
What I'm curious, though, is, Coach, can you tell us what it was like when it was 25 cents a game?
Man.
No, I played it.
I mean, he even added time on the clock against me. I
play it.
Man, the age thing is really. See, I'm usually the one getting the age out of these 4. So and because I'm having
easy,
a kid.
Grandpa, Dad.
Hey, it's all right,
Grandpa, baby, daddy.
Oh, is that your son that's graduating?
No, it's my grandson.
I'm going to come up to that stage on my cane. That's my son.
You're my boy,
dude. Hey,
Dylan's carrying his little brother around.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, man. Hate the game.
You know he's over there. He's over there eating that up right now. You know he is right there. He's over there eating it.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm gonna have another boy. I can. And all the things I screwed up with Dylan, I can fix.
You gonna finally make this kid into a shooter? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, Dylan actually shot the lights out today.
I know he will.
Open gym, but
if he'll shoot
games, right?
Well, that's it.
Hey, listen, I hope he scores a bunch of points, just not against us.
He likes corner threes against you guys.
Hold on, time out.
In front of your bench.
I know.
He does it and pulls the arrow.
We've had some conversations on the whole arrow bull crap.
But hey, I like that.
I hate it.
I want it.
I hate it.
I want the kids to have fun. I want the kids to celebrate.
I've got him down to just doing
in
this.
pro sports, not anywhere.
Hey, listen, back in the day, you get your block knocked off. You do something like
fine.
Coach knows.
It ain't happening.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Like, you're going to celebrate, huh?
Yeah.
I got you.
Coach,
I like that too.
Coach Rhodes comes from the background of like Bob Gibson, dude. I'm gonna put you. You hit a home run and you lollygag and you balk about.
You mean if you bat
absolutely?
flip?
I'm gonna absolutely put one at your head.
I don't care. You know? I'm all
He's
for it.
He's my favorite.
Yes.
I mean,
Bobby Gibson.
I'm not all for it. I pulled him out of the game this year because of it one time. I said, dude.
Good for you.
You've I said, you're like one of your last 6, bud. Come on. And he's like, oh.
My only thing is if it's a kid who can actually. Right. I mean, it depends on the situation. If I know I got a guy who's been chirping on me and I'm lighting him up, and I'm gonna tell him. But it's under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're a guy who goes 1 for 7 or something and you're over there celebrating, it's like your damn birthday. It only comes around once a year.
Right. And Dylan,
really? Oh, so let's celebrate. Let's have a freaking cake.
If Dylan would have done it when he made the one against them, I'd have been all for it. I'd have been like giving him a high five as he came down. But
your brother just chimed in. He said Jarvis kids should shoot the ball.
Well,
but
that's what Jarvis should do.
But once again, you talked about in an earlier segment building excitement. What from the kid's perspective?
Well, I can tell
there's nothing better. Listen, I can tell you right now.
Agree.
There's nothing better from a coach. What almost brings you to tears is when everybody knows that the last guy or girl that comes off the bench who hasn't scored all year, they get in and they score. They do something great, and everybody.
Unless you're that team that's getting their butt kicked.
Yeah, and you're a jerk, and you won't let the one kid who doesn't ever get to play.
I said do not let 25 score. Whatever you do, don't let them score.
It's like the kid who doesn't ever get to play, put him in. The crowd going wild. They're all excited. Our whole pep club's going crazy. I think you even had like a triple team on him or something. He couldn't score. It was
the kids caught on first, and they were mad. And I said, well, don't let them score then if you're mad about it. You guys have let them score all night, so I mean.
I don't know. That's the memories. That's the fun. That's the stuff that.
Yeah, I know. Noah Apostolico does not get a chance to have that memory because Coach Jarvis shut it down.
Because we're the only team you've blown out last year that he couldn't.
We didn't blow anybody out last year.
I'm too old school.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate.
Hey, I've got a comment.
I knew he would be saying.
I got a comment from Billy Rhodes right now. It says Ron Rhodes or Billy Pruno said Ron Rhodes would put you on your butt.
That's fine, and you can do that. I have no problem with that.
Do you agree with that, Coach Rhodes?
Absolutely. I mean,
it's like the guy who's going to go up and dunk. You don't get one for free, buddy.
That's fine.
I could show you film on that.
But you know what, though? If I dunk it over you, then I'm going to celebrate.
Have at it.
Right.
Hey, and you want to undercut me? Then undercut me. That's the game. That's the spirit of the game.
Problem is you don't have those kids who'll do that anymore.
I think there's a difference between showboating and then making a great play.
Right.
I mean, you make a great play.
Yeah, celebrate.
I think it's all about you celebrating. But showboating is a different story.
Did we or did we not? We had to take practice time when we did football together. We had to take practice time and explain to the kids, after you score a touchdown, you can go high-five your teammates.
Yeah. Right.
You can go celebrate.
Yeah.
What's wrong
I'm
with...
not going to lie to you. When I first got to Herky and was coaching football, and we scored a touchdown, and our kids weren't even excited on the sideline. I'd never been. I was like, well, dude, when we scored when I was in high school, the whole sideline's going.
Yeah.
Right. You know, 8.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Right. But can't gotta temper emotion. Temper emotion.
That's okay. But when you're doing this crap, running down the court or doing it at the other team, that's
Eli Boyer asked me if he could do that when he makes a three. I said, "Why are you even asking me?" I said, "You probably shouldn't." He said, "Well, I got a technical last year before I got hired." I go, "Well, the answer is definitely no."
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying show up the other team, but I'm saying if you want to celebrate your team, if we get in a ball game and you take a charge. You're darn right. I'm going over, picking you up, high-five, and stuff.
The charge is the ultimate sacrifice you can make as a player.
But I'm talking about
that.
But that's celebrating.
Up is not.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying bang on your chest. Look at my name on the back. I'm not saying. But I'm talking about celebrating what's happened. A great play. Mm-hmm. Why can't you do that?
I think that's the difference, and I don't know that kids understand that.
Somebody hits a 400-foot bomb, go celebrate when he gets to home plate.
Scott Rowland, just sprint around the bases and get in the dugout.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders just handed the ball to the official and walked away.
Yeah.
But, hey, Noah Apostolico is the GOAT according to Josh Rubel.
Yeah, that's right. Noah P.
I don't know. I want to celebrate my teammates and what they do.
And I think that you look at the point of it is it's all about expectation. Once again, if you've talked about that expectation up the front,
the music's
and you've
coming
mentioned
on. Blair's talking.
You've automatically given them that opportunity to do it. So if you talk about it, I think the kids understand what your expectation is. You do that, you find your butt sitting right here next to us.
I would never say show up an opponent, but by golly, I want you cheering. Because we just said whatever segment we talked about momentum, that's a way to get emotion in the game. That's a way to get momentum, create it.
I missed that whole segment, but our gym was like coming to a funeral this year because we didn't have any fans there and there was no kids section and it was awful.
It's tough.
That was awful.
It makes it really hard, so
you'll be able to fill the kids section starting next year, right?
We hope.
I sure hope so.
We hope.
The Delta or whatever the crap they keep making up. Yeah.
Delta variant.
Hey, I would say this could be another week. Are we going to have sports? Is it going to be just like
next year?
Yeah.
That's what we'll talk about.
Twitter poll. Will we have sports? this fall.
All right. Well,
we are
looks
having
like
sports.
that's a wrap on segment 68 here of the Coach's Box. We want to thank Coach Rhodes for coming out tonight.
Thanks, Coach Rhodes.
Appreciate
visiting us here.
Enjoy it.
And
I watch you every week.
Well, we appreciate that.
Oh my
We
gosh.
appreciate that.
And he yells at us when we're.
Is there
when we're
nothing
not
else
on
on TV that's good?
You go outside and turn the antenna still where you're at, I guess, because there's got to be something better.
It's just stuck on that channel. He's like, that's all I got. That's all I got.
The wife's
This video
probably
just
saying,
popped up on the computer. I don't know what to do.
I missed a lot. Are we done coaching now, or
I'm done.
for this year at least?
Well, I'm done.
He left that door wide
It's
open.
still open. It's still open a little bit.
There you go.
But I know. I'm sure that the wife loves to hear you screaming at the TV or the computer when you're sitting in that rocking chair when we say something about Matt Carpenter or something.
Don't start on my boy Matt got the hit last night.
He got a hit?
He got a hit.
Oh, you like
I don't
that?
know.
You really
What-
like Matt
what-
Carpenter?
Yes.
Let alone
Oh
many
my
that would
God.
necessitate.
We
an
talked about
entire
that
rack.
before you showed up.
What
here.
am I going to do?
We did. I
with
said
the
you got
gun
to
rack?
keep that down on the down low, man.
I had to say it right before we. I wanted to say it.
Carpenter right now is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and he's got him hitting in the 3-hole because Arenado's
But
got
they're
the night
winning
off.
8-1.
Okay.
So,
See, he's a winner.
yeah. So
He's a winner.
He's a winner.
there you go.
that's the word. That's the word I was going to use.
Final post here.
Albert
Bill
Pujols.
Prudo says, "Ask Ron what would happen if you celebrated a homer on him."
All right, hit him the next
Well, Bob Gibson was my favorite
There
guy.
you go.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. There we go. Thanks so much for being with us on the Coach's Box tonight. We'll be back again next week. Tune in throughout the rest of this week. We'll have the American Legion Zone tournaments right here on Livestream STL on Facebook and YouTube. So check that out. Check out our schedule on at the top of our Facebook page. We're always here, Livestream STL and the Coach's Box. So long. We'll see you soon.